Hello and welcome to Turn 1 Soul Vlog. This is the top 5, or my 5 picks for upgrades for the Lord Windgrace Commander 18 deck. Now, I have 5 cards in front of me here, and the first one is Magus of the Candelabra. This card I think is good because this is a deck where you want to do shenanigans with lands, and he basically helps you untap your lands, which I think is very good. He is making sure that he can always make sure you have some lands untapped. He turns all of those Ravnica tap for 2 lands, the bounce lands, those Ravnica bounce lands, he turns them into costing 3 mana instead of 2. So you can get a 3 mana out of a 2 mana tap land. And I think he's really good for that. He's really cheap. I think he's only like 25 cents last I saw. So definitely a good upgrade with Magus of the Candelabra. Moving on, next card is a land. Now this is a deck that cares about your lands. So Reliquary Tower is going to be good for this deck, mainly because bringing up Lord Windgrace, his plus ability allows you to draw a lot of cards, and this is a deck where I've noticed when I've been playing with Lord Windgrace is that I'm having to discard a lot with him, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I'm also having to get rid of stuff that isn't lands, and I think Reliquary Tower both gives us another land, which is great for this deck. It also makes sure that we're not having to give up anything in our hand. I think it's kind of the weakest of my upgrades for this. I still haven't tested this card out too much with this deck, but I think it's definitely a very good upgrade to consider for Lord Windgrace. The next card is Jun de Xiang. Now, I love these kind of charm cards. I love the ones from Ravnica because they gave you a lot of different stuff to do, but it was all kind of within the guild's theme. Jun Charm kind of helps you hose graveyard decks. It kind of helps you get rid of token decks, and if you want, just buff a creature. I think it's a very good card, and I do think it goes very well in this deck because this is a deck that once it gets going, you don't want to stop the land ramp party here. You don't want to have to deal with a whole bunch of tokens because this is a deck where the creatures are more quality than quantity. And so the second ability will help you kind of spearhead past token decks. And if you want, just buff a creature, turn it sideways at someone's face. That's always a great thing to do. This next upgrade is actually kind of a personal favorite of mine because I've been looking for a deck to put this card in for a very long time. Hammer of Perfer. Now, already giving creatures you control haste. With this deck, that's a killer because this deck just brings out so many big, beautiful things. But then, its second ability, 2 red, tap it, sacrifice a land, which you don't really care about with this deck because you're getting them back with Lord Windgrace. Create a 3/3 colorless golem enchantment artifact creature token and put it on the battlefield. So you essentially sack your lands to Hammer of Perfer, then you get them back with Lord Windgrace, and you just keep that cycle going. I think it works very well with this deck, and I think it's it synergizes very well. Now, Windgrace doesn't like artifacts. In fact, the only one that he came with was Soul Ring, which that's the best artifact. But this, I think, helps you. It does a lot more of that land matters stuff that goes with the theme. I think it goes with the theme of the deck a lot better. It synergizes with the deck a lot better, and it also helps you kind of bring up a blocker if you need it. I mean, a 3/3 is a decent sized creature, and I think this hammer is going to be turning your land into a lot of guys. For the final, this one's a bit of not unorthodox, but it's not one that you'll see coming. But for the final upgrade, I pick Fireball because this is a deck where you're going to have 20 lands out, and if you don't want to burn someone out for 19, then I don't know I don't know what's wrong with you. Because this is a game ender for this deck. Because it essentially says, oh hey look, I have about 20-25 lands out. I'm going to burn you out for 24 and win the game. Now against blue decks this might not do as well, but I personally think this card is going to be hella good in this deck. And I cannot wait to see how it plays out. I'm still working on getting this deck sleeved, but I think these 5 cards are going to be very good for this deck, and they're all, I think, relatively low cost, so if you're looking for decent budget upgrades to Lord Windgrace, I don't think you can go wrong with these 5 cards. So, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Subscribe down below if you want to help support the channel. Make sure to hit that bell so you know when the next Turn 1 Soul Ring video is uploaded. And if you want, let me know down in the comments what are your upgrades for Lord Windgrace. And as always guys, have a good one.